I'm almost 40 years old. Just to have a release, I get a ball and I go down the park and I have a juggle. I do little tricks, just for myself. But it's just the little extras that I encourage and urge, and that's what I love about the app.
Archie, thanks for your time today.
Sweet.
It's a huge honour for you to be here and give us an insight on
Sign off for me.
Just let's go back to when you were about 15, 16. You told me that you ended up finishing trials with the national team, the juniors.
Yeah.
You packed it up, and for a couple of years you never played football. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. So it happened. I think the turning point for me to wanting to get back into football was I was getting into a little bit of trouble. Mum walked me to court one morning.
You ended up going to court.
We went to court. Well, I won't say what for, but
Leave that out.
yeah,
you can cut that out.
You can cut that out, whatever. Probably get asked it, but and then I said to my mum as we were walking out, because I seen how much she was upset about it, and I said to Mum, "You'll never see me in a place like this again, and I'm going to make you proud of me." And from that point on, I kind of set my mind and goals to what I wanted to achieve, and that was to be a pro footballer.
And that was that's at a very important age, because when you're 16, 17, football can get serious.
Yeah.
You know? Like you're knocking on the door to seniors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if you were out for a year or 2 years, how did you get back into it? Because I'm sure you would have lost your fitness, right?
Yeah. Well, that's always been my big thing. If I was ever fit enough, I was fit enough, and having that time off, I think it made me think even more that I wouldn't be able to get into the shape that I needed to be a pro footballer. But these days now, at 15 or 16, it starts even younger. If you're starting to take time off, even say 12 years old, it's so crucial now. I mean, you look at the big clubs, they're signing players up at 5, 6 years old. So any time that you take off, it's going to be crucial in your development and even having the opportunity to go. But look, for me, because I wanted to get back into it, I'd left school, I was working at a Chinese restaurant, and for me, starting back was running from the Chinese restaurant back home. And because of...
How was your first job?
Oh, man, I stopped about 20 times. I reckon I was about to cough up a lung.
Really, eh?
Terrible. And then...
what sort of distance was it?
Yeah, it wasn't far. It was upper hills and stuff, but it was probably 4 or 5 K's.
And you
stopped 20 times, huffing and puffing. But then, 20 times became 15 times, stopping. Yeah. And then 15 became 13. And then when I got to the point, and this again was another breakthrough for me, when I finally got home from just jogging once, not even stopping, I knew straight away that whatever I set my mind to, I can do it. And I never lost the ability. I always was sort of blessed with having skill. But even then, you should never stop. You should always continue to work and develop on your skills.
Archie, what's important, I guess, is all these interviews that I do, all these great players that I've spoken to, and being a former pro myself, is that extra work that you've done.
Yeah.
That's, you getting into, that's almost like a movie, man.
Yeah.
Like running and training, and, believing in a dream, setting a target.
Yeah.
That's what we do with On The Ball. Our training app is about providing extra training for kids to be able to do in their spare time. And as a pro, would you say, is that important? Even when I first signed my first pro contract, I was still doing extras. Like I'd go and train, in a professional environment, but still felt like I had to do more. I needed to do more. So even though we worked hard, the next morning I was out running or I was out kicking the ball. So it was always extras, I think, that helped me in the long run. And I still continue to do it now. I mean, I'm almost 40 years old. Just to have a release, I get a ball and I go down the park and I have a juggle. I do little tricks, just for myself. But it's just the little extras that I encourage and urge, and that's what I love about the app, because it's these are what kids need to do if they have ambitions to be pro footballers. You have to do the extras. It's just non-negotiable. Those are the sacrifices you need to make. What about the mental toughness? Like you went overseas. You're in Belgium for 4 years, and a lot of people think, a football player can go overseas, he's made it, he's in Europe, but it's actually hard. I've done it, you've done it. Just tell us a bit about that.
It's tough. It's you know, people think as soon as you go over into Europe, you're immediately a millionaire. You've got the lifestyle. But, you know, I went to Belgium. It was a tough league. My first experience of going overseas, being here in Australia, you know, it's a different mentality. Over there, like, it's every time you step out on the pitch, it's fighting. You're fighting for your position. People are coming from all over the world, from some rough areas. You're like, I played with people and players that have come out of Africa. So this is their hope. This is their opportunity for a better lifestyle. I'm blessed here in Australia. We're blessed.
That's a very big point.
Yeah.
I just want to emphasize that.
Yeah.
You know, us Aussie kids, American kids and Canadians, like, we've got it easy.
Oh, man.
When you go to Europe and you've got Africans and South Americans,
yeah,
they're playing for their life, literally, and their family.
Yeah.
That's a big thing for them.
So that was something that I had to learn and adapt to, and also too, like, I went over not making ridiculous amounts of money, and then you know, even with the club that I went to, they were struggling financially. So there was moments where I had to ring home and you know, and ask mum or dad for money, because it was, you know, over the other side of the world, struggling to sometimes even you know, pay for groceries, or not to that extent, but it got to those points at some times, and also too having my child over there too, which was another added responsibility. So there's a lot of things that people don't see, or, you know, but maybe young kids think that it's you know, it's fantastic. It is fantastic, because you're living your dream. Because my ambition was always to go overseas and play and try to go to a big club. But I tell you what, sometimes it's not what you think it is, and that's where you got to have that resilience and mental toughness to kind of go through those tough times. Because I went there and I had a coach that brought me there. He got sacked. Another coach came in, didn't like me, didn't like you know, that kind of carefree attitude. I laughed once after a game that we lost. Laughed once. Then I was put in limbo for 9 months. You had me training in an under 13s.
So you're in the first team,
and
he's dropped you down.
Under 13s. I was there for, like, trying to find a way out.
That'll crush a lot of players.
Man, a lot of times finishing a session, the frozen pitches in the cold in Europe, you know. A lot of times I got home to my my ex-partner now, and like practically in tears, like feeling like a failure, because you know, I come over here with all this expectation, and I'm supporting my ex-partner at the time with my child. I feel like a failure, because it's massive responsibility. And you know, but that's the way football is sometimes in life, is that the actual player, the coach that put me in there, needed me back again, because he got rid of some strikers, and he needed players to come in because they were struggling. And funny enough, I actually helped them avoid relegation. So it's
really important point.
Yeah.
Coaches come and go, so players might say, oh, the coach doesn't like me, whatever, but you stuck it out.
Yeah.
And in the end, he calls you back in.
He calls me back in. Okay, I had to maybe act a certain way.
Did you train really hard? Did you train really hard to prove to him?
Oh, look, when I went to the under 13s and the 14s, 15, I still trained hard. Like, my mindset, I still had to work hard. But that's been my mindset since day dot. When I started to become a pro footballer and want that, like you know, when I made that promise to my mum, every time I step out onto a training field, regardless of what it is, I do boot camps now. I go out there, I give 100%, always. That's just been a mindset of mine, and it should be the mindset of anyone's. And it should be the mindset if someone wants to if they download this app, that every time they go out there and they're doing it by themselves, they have to work hard, because you never know who's watching. Like, there's a number of stories that I hear someone just kicking in a park, all of a sudden he's playing in Europe or something. Yeah, man, it's amazing. Like, you know, that's why it doesn't matter where you are, you always work hard, even if it's by yourself.
What about when, I mean, we all love you, and remember, no one can forget the victory days, right?
Yeah.
And the whole stadium, I think today they still go crazy when they see you at the stadium.
Yes.
I'm sure that makes you feel unbelievable.
Yeah, it's good.
When you were at Victory, like, did you do extra trainings? Did you put extra in?
Yeah, like
You had a hard coach, hey, Musket.
Yeah.
Postecoglou and Musket must be pretty crazy. You know?
Yeah, look, to be honest, I feel like I could have done more. Like I always felt like I could do more. There's always, like, you always look back and you think, maybe if I had done a little bit extra, you know, you should always want to do more. You should always want to extra. I feel like I still could have done a little bit more. But yeah, they were tough coaches because they've had careers. Muscat was one of the toughest players in Europe in the championship, and his mentality was that. So, look, I always continually to work hard, but you should always feel like in anything, not even in just football, in general life, you feel like you can always give more. So that's been always my thing.
That's amazing, man. Well, look, I want to thank you for your time.
Oh no, please, thank you very much.
I hope there's some youngsters who can take this inspirational stuff that you're saying. They've got to work harder, they've got to be mentally tough, nothing's ever easy, and they've got to stick it out. So
what I will say, I wish that this app was around back when I was starting to, I had the ambitions of being a professional footballer, because those things weren't around. I just sort of did my own little thing. But you've got an app now with like professionals to know exactly what is needed to be done to at least give you an opportunity, because what it is, it's just opportunity, and you want to make sure that you're prepared for when that opportunity comes, and it might be those little extra 1v1s at a park, and that's why I think this app's amazing. And I'm more grateful that you're giving me the opportunity to maybe get it out there a bit more.